This video should show you everything you need to know to use the sample summary paragraphs in order to do the APA formatting properly for your summary paragraphs. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about here are the running headers. The running headers are the information at the top of every page in the paper. So at the very top of every page in the paper, there's information there, and that's called the running header. That's a term that I'm going to be using throughout the quarter. Okay, and I will show you now how to do the running headers using the Word template. Okay, so you're going to follow these directions. You're going to open Word. Okay, and then you're in the Search Online Templates box. You're going to type APA. You're going to select APA style paper, and then click the Create button. Let me show you how that works. Okay, so I'm going to create a Word document. Here's the online template. Go away. Here's the online template box up there at the top. So that's up at the top here. I'm going to type in APA there. Hit Enter. And then I'm going to choose this one here, APA style paper. Click that. And then there's a button here that says Create. All right. And now I have a template for an APA paper. All right. So you now have a template for an APA paper. Okay. So now the key here on the template is, if you look at it, there's some words that are on the template that are words that you keep. They're words that are going to stay in your paper. But then you have some words on the template that are instructions for what you need to type, and they're instruction words you replace with your own words. So if we take a look here, this is the running header up here. No, this up here, that's the running header. If you take a look there, these words here, running head, those are words you're going to keep. This number over here, the page number, that's going to be kept. But this in all caps here, shortened title up to 50 characters, those are instructions for what you're going to put there, and those you're going to replace. You're going to type in your paper title instead of that. Okay? So where it says shortened title up to 50 characters, type your paper title in all caps. So I go here, I click there, it highlights nicely, and in all caps I'm going to do summary paragraphs 1 and 2, which is the title of your paper. Okay, so that's the running header. Now, the cover page. So that's the cover page. That's the first page on the paper, and for most of the rest of that, you're going to follow the instructions, but putting in your information. So taking a look here, so now we're in here. Okay, and there's two sort of parts to this. There's the part in the middle, which is clear cut. You're going to do that exactly as you're supposed to do it. And then there's the part on the bottom here. Okay, so the part in the middle, follow the part in the bottom turns out to be more flexible. You can do different things there. But in the part in the middle, follow the instructions. So it says add title here, up to 12 words on 1 or 2 lines. Now, one of the things, it doesn't tell you that this is in title case, but if you look at that, the instructions there are in title case. So the instructions are in the format they want you to follow. So notice the instructions there were in all caps, which was the hint that you're supposed to type it in all caps. The instructions here are in title case, and you can see some words are capitalized, but some words are lowercase, like that. We'll talk about the specific rules on that. The rough rule of thumb, which will be okay for now, is basically big words are capitalized, small words are lowercase, not capitalized. But we'll explain that in more detail. So here, this is the title of your paper. This, not that. In title case, so capital S, capital P, 1 and 2, like that. Okay, and it says author name, that's you, first, middle initial, last, omit titles and degrees, so that would be Gene Q Public, like that. Okay, and then finally down here, institutional affiliations, that would be TCC, so you could type TCC if you want, or you could type Tacoma, like that, fill it in, like that, Tacoma Community College. Okay, that, everyone has to have this exact setup on their paper. The author note down here, that turns out to be something different. So what do the instructions say? They have author note. Now these are words that you can keep if you want to. And then here's the instructions. Include any grant funding information and a complete correspondence address. Well, that doesn't apply to what you're doing. But it turns out the things you do here, you can do it different ways. So if we take a look at my sample, let's open up the sample here, and if you see at the bottom of that, there's no author note down there. You just have class name, my name, and the due date on the paper. There, that's one way you do that. Or you can do this author note thing here, and here you can type in something like this paper was prepared for English 101, Lawrence White instructor. Something like that. Okay, there. Oh, don't save it. Okay, so that there's, like, if you look on the if you go to the Google and you type in APA cover page, and you look at the different schools have posted, different looking cover pages, different cover, what your cover page can look like. You'll see there's different formatting. That the main difference is the stuff on the bottom can be done different ways. But the stuff in the middle here and the stuff on the top always has to be done like this. Okay, so that's the cover page. All right, now the next thing is section headers. So what are those? Section headers are within the body of the paper. Most of the time, the title of the paper is a section header. So that's one section header you're probably familiar with. The section, note that they are centered. Okay. And so we go back to the sample paper here, and we look, that's a section header there, and that's a section header there. So your body of the paper is going to have two section headers. Type for the section headers, what I want, the author name and the title of the source. So the first paragraph, the section header for that will be the author of the source you're summarizing, and then the title of the source you're summarizing. The title is going to be in title case and quote marks. Remember, title case is, roughly speaking, big words capitalized, small words lowercase. And if we take a look at the sample here, there's the author name, comma, title of the source in title case, capital, 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 quote marks, and then the same thing down here, author name, comma, title of the source, capitalized, title case, quote marks, like that. Okay, now the next thing is the APA in-text. So these are the in-text citations. You have to have one of those. If you look at the assignment sheet, it says that you have to have an APA in-text citation in the first sentence of your summary paragraph, the umbrella sentence, the sentence that captures the main point of the source. And basically, the version that I'm going to have you guys do for this is all you need is the author's last name only, followed by the publication year in parentheses. Doing it this way, the important thing is that the in-text citation is grammatically part of the sentence. They're words within the sentence. And here's two ways you can do it. You can do something like this. Ranieri 2017 said everybody should have fun. Or another way you can do it, which you could say, according to Ranieri 2017, everybody should have fun. And this here is that's the in-text citation. Last name, year of publication. And again, that's the in-text citation. Last name, year of publication. If we take a look at the sample here, we'll see up here, Wolf 2012. There's the in-text citation for that. Notice it's a part of the sentence. Wolf 2012 expressed his disagreement, yada, yada, yada. And one down here, Hughes 2012. That's the in-text citation. And notice that, notice that it's a part of the sentence. Hughes 2012 contained a profound irony, yada, yada, yada. Like that. Okay, so that's the APA in-text citations, pretty simple. And then finally, we've got the bibliography. Okay, so let's take a look at the page. So this is the last page on the paper. This is the page with the sources. Now here's a very important thing here. Notice that this is a separate page. That's an important thing to keep in mind. Always, your bibliography is always a separate page. It does not begin at the bottom of the last page of your paper. It's a separate page all by itself. And notice the section header here is references. So that's what we call this, references, capital R there. Notice that it's double spaced with no extra spaces. And notice that, so there's no extra space in there, everything's double spaced, just like the paper itself, double spaced. And then notice that the entries are in alphabetical order. We have two entries, Hughes, Wolf, H comes before W in the alphabet, so the Hughes entry first, the Wolf entry second. All right, so those are the important things there. So section headers, references, page is double spaced, no extra spaces, entries are alphabetized. Okay. Another format thing here is that these entries are in hanging indents. Okay, so note how the indents on the bibliography are different from the indents in the body of the paper. The first line of every entry is on the left margin, and if there are any additional lines in the entry, they're indented 5 spaces 1 tab. So again, take a look at the sample. So the first line is on the left margin, and then second, and if there's another line, is indented 5 spaces in. First line on the left margin, indented 5 spaces in. And that's the opposite of the body of the paper, the paragraph there. Notice that the first line's indented, and then everything else is on the left margin. In this, we're reversed. First line on left margin, any additional lines in an entry indented. All bibliographies are formatted that way no matter what format you're working in. And notice that it automatically does that hanging indent there. Okay, if I have an entry down here, same thing. If I type in that, type, information, next line, hanging indent.